Hey guys, today I'll be showing you another restoration project I've been working on, and this video is also for Kris, who owns this Polymoog. So Kris just kind of go over it and show you that everything is actually working properly after the restoration. I also cleaned up the poly pedals that came with this unit. And for anybody that might have seen Third Rock's, the music store Third Rock's ad on YouTube for a Polymoog, this is the one. So I ended up between the purchase for my client to do a restoration on it. And so this is the same one. But anyways, let me just kind of walk around here, Kris, and I'll show you how everything looks. Replaced all the LEDs with modern LEDs. Rebuilt all the logic boards so they function correctly. Just went through this thing, cleaned all the keys, rebuilt the key bed, new key bushings, washed the keys so the keys are all nice and clean. And this one here had a very, very strong cigarette smell. When I got it, it was just sickening, so I took it all apart and did a little extra cleaning and washing on this one. But you can see it's a really late Polymoog. It's 4085, so it was actually made somewhere around 1979. So it's one of the last ones off the assembly line. Some things, you know, like your badge is a little cracked, but that's not uncommon. But really focused on the electronics in this one. That's your poly pedal connections there, in case you're wondering what all those wires are. You can just kind of see how nice and clean everything is. This one's been used. It's got marks on it. It's got some rub marks on the top here where it's definitely been gigged quite a lot. But overall, it's in good shape. It's healthy now, at least, you know, electronically. The poly pedals are great as well. There is one thing that has been repaired on these pedals. It looks like the welds broke for this pedal, so somebody drilled holes and put bolts through it to hold it to the actuator, and it works great. When I had this thing all apart, because I actually did clean up the poly pedals as well, I inspected this, and the way they did it works really well. So I didn't really bother about changing that out. But you know, it's cosmetically kind of ugly, but it works. But anyways, just going to show you that the poly pedal works. It's easier to do that while holding the camera. So we'll go to the filter first, and I'll just kind of do a filter sweep here. I got it set to filter. And also your sustain works. As you can see. Your pitch works. If we go here, we'll go back to direct output. As you can hear, all that's working correctly. Your trigger mode works. If we go to filter, we set up envelope generator. I'll just kind of show you this real quick, just real simple. So if you can see, if I hit right now, if I hit another note, it will not multi-trigger, because I've actually got it set here for single trigger. So I can change that by this little wheel, or that little switch there, and now you'll hear it double triggers. If we do a faster attack, you'll be able to hear it. Versus this right here. As you can hear. What this also does, it allows you to use this pedal here, trigger mode, to do right the opposite. So you're basically inverting what that switch is. So for instance, we hit the switch. That's how that works. And then your external synth is actually for shutting on and off your external CV and trigger for your external synthesizer. That's what that does. Actually, it just turns off the trigger, so your external synthesizer doesn't have a trigger source. That's what that does. And you just light it up like that, and so on. Your swell pedal works as well. I'll show you that that's working. So as you can hear. So that's working correctly. But yeah, your poly pedal is working great. Now I'll just kind of go through the Polymoog here. Let me put the camera on the tripod, and I'll show you that everything's working here. So we'll start with just a simple. So here's your actual modulation. So this is your sawtooth. which I'll show you in a minute. I actually got that set up here. This is your pulse width modulator, or pulse width waveform. If we go here, we'll start with a. And you also got your shape. And you got your pulse width modulation. You also got a footage for your sawtooth as well. That's using your poly pedal to do pitch bends. We'll also do the filter sweep with this kind of. What is cool about the Polymoog is you can combine the pitch and filter together, so when you do a sweep you can control both pitch and filter. So anyways, as you can hear, that's all working correctly. I'll show you we'll go through the filter right quick since I'm already here. I'll show you that the filter has a great response. Your amount works for your modulation. It's just a triangular wave, and then you got your sample and hold. So first of all, I'll just show you the emphasis is working. Open the emphasis up. Now we'll make that modulate. Too is we got your keyboard tracking working. So when you turn it to keyboard tracking, it's actually going to make your filter track the keyboard. So we go here. We can put some glide on that. As you can hear. And that's also using your external keyboard CV circuit, so all that's working as well. I did a full calibration as well on all this, so it's all calibrated. I will go here and just kind of show you something I programmed here before. You're hearing a combination of the filter, the direct output, and resonators. So now we'll go to the resonators, and also I used your rank tune. You can hear. Although that's working. Yeah, we'll go to your resonators now and just show you that all the resonators are working. All the stages. So we'll start with low pass. As you can hear. Control the emphasis. This thing will shake the whole room too. So we'll go to the middle. There's the middle, and here's your high. Really great sound, especially when you start mixing with direct output and you have this thing hooked up to several channels on a mixer, and then you offset the phase between the channels. You can get some amazing stuff. That's just combining with direct output. So that's your low pass. We'll go to the band pass. The high pass. Resonator. And so all that's working correctly. Now just go through the presets and show you that the presets are actually working. We'll go through the mode filters first. So we've got the mode filters on. We'll go to preset 1. And of course we can use the sustain pedal. And now some of these presets, they're programmed with a certain amount of sustain. So your pedal may not react the same on every preset as well. We can also hit the lock button and you'll see the same result. And remember, the final decay button that I always talk about that's related to your sustain pedal of your poly pedal. So when you're in manual, it's actually looking at your sustain pedal. When you're in lock, it's looking at the sustain sliders and settings, or in this case, what's programmed into it still. Unless you get variation, and now we're in the variation mode of the loudness contour, which you get something like this. So now we can adjust that. And of course, you can also hear that modulation. It's got its own envelope for the modulation rate. Softer attack. Combining the resonator. We can go back here, and now you're back into the preset. Then we got piano. So you got something like that. We got organ. So you get something like that. Here's harpsichord. We got funk. Oh, sorry. We got clavichord. Sorry, I'm a little rusty today on my playing. So that's harps or clavichord, and you got vibes, which is now vox humana. And that's the filter, the fixed filter. We'll go to direct output for this one. That's working. I got your dynamics up too for this preset. And once again, same thing here. If we use the sustain pedal, you can hear the sustain work because I programmed the sustain just like it would be on the 288. But the dynamics are really present. Anyways, that's preset 7, and then we got preset 8, which is brass. We're back into the mode filters. Actually, what I like to do with preset 8 is actually just a sawtooth, and combine the sawtooth and square. Anyways, that's your preset. You hit 9. Of course, now you're back into the synthesizer variation mode, which is basically where it switches off all the preset control and it looks at the sliders. So anyways, there's also for each preset you have your own VCF setting. So we'll go to VCF. That's preset 1, preset 2. We got organ. We got harpsichord. Now funk is a real interesting one. It's actually got sample and hold programmed on it. Clavichord. And of course Vox Humana. And you can always edit these. You go to variation mode. Some direct output with that, but as you can hear, everything's working great. And of course you can also I'll show you that the part fill button works as well. That's something I don't really talk about too much. Some of you might be curious what the part fill does. So what it does basically is it makes the synthesizer, of course you can hear that droning. That's just because when I hit manual, it's the sustain set all the way up. That's why that's doing that. But you can hit manual button, you can hear it cleans up really nice. But anyways, what the part fill does is it actually keeps some things in variation mode while it sets the synthesizer, oscillators, and everything up in the preset mode. For instance, right now we're in variation mode. We'll hit part fill, and you'll see a little light come on the screen, just a little dot. If we go here, it's going to keep all this just like it was, but we can go here. So if we go back here, we'll go here, go to VCF. So now we got a VCF set up, and now we want to say we want to keep that VCF setting on the preset. So we hit variation. As you can see. And what it also does when you hit some things back in variation or preset mode, that's actually what it does. It sets everything back up to preset settings. So we can go here. You can hear it. That's what the part fill does for you. And then when you go back here, you're back into this. But the trick is you actually have to, when you're in part fill, you have to set all this up in the variation mode like you want it. For example, some things that you want to be preset controlled, you go back into preset. So modulations, shape, pulse width modulations, envelope, but everything else you want to have changed per preset, leave in variation mode. That's really what it does. But anyways, Kris, I just want to make you a good video here, just kind of give you an overview of your Polymoog. Real honored to be able to work on this thing for you, and hopefully it has a safe trip over to Poland, and I'm going to make sure I box it up real well for you. But anyways, thanks again, Kris, and all the people that watch my videos, thanks for watching, and I'm sure there'll be another restoration for you soon. So take care.